If your Delulu hasn't become your Solulu, I want to tell you exactly what you can do. Because everyone on here is talking about visualization, dreaming big, and I love that. I'm not here to rain on that parade because I'm a Pisces. I live in that dreamland. And I love dreaming big. I love using your imagination, vision boards, and expanding your mind on what's possible for you. I'm all for that. But here's the thing, a lot of people stop there. And Delulu without strategy isn't going to change anything for you. It just increases frustration because you start noticing the gap between where you are now and where you would like to be more and more and more the more you visualize. You're holding a vision that your system doesn't know how to support you yet. But in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what to do to help you get to where you want to be. And you see people online sharing stories about how they manifest something massive, and just by believing, sheer visualization. And yes, there will be people that are able to achieve that in certain areas of their lives. But what we never talk about is that we all start from a different internal point. And I don't mean that they're ahead of you or you're behind. It simply means that you cannot use their blueprint to get to where you want to be. It's like you both are getting to New York, but she's starting from Boston and you're coming from London. It's a very different route and different modes of transportation to the same destination. You'll get there, but your strategy and how you'll get there is going to be really, really different from her. Same destination, completely different path. And before we get to it, I want you to just pause for a moment here and appreciate where you are right now, because we often underestimate how far we've come because we're always chasing the next goal. I know this so well because I've been there as a high achiever. We always underestimate our growth and we keep punishing ourselves for not being there yet. And just pause a moment and really notice that this is where you would have loved to be 10 years ago. Now let's actually get to the part where you can turn Delulu to Solulu using science-backed ways by working with your mind and using strategy to do it. New neural pathways do not form through just visualization. I know there are so many videos talking about how athletes do it and performers do it. It's because they already have existing neural pathways that they are enhancing. That's why they're able to do it. So if you're someone who has been living, for example, from paycheck to paycheck and you want to make $300,000 a year, that's going to take some more strategy than just visualization. Here's the thing, new neural pathways do not form through visualization alone. Visualization can set the goal and set the intention, set the direction there. So you know you're going to New York, but it doesn't update the belief. It doesn't give you the mode of transportation. You still have to do the action. And what actually changes the brain isn't mere visualization. It's a very specific process that comes from memory reconsolidation model. I'm going to give you two examples with dating and money because the mechanism behind this is actually universal. And I'm using dating because dating often, and love and relationships, it's actually often the clearest mirror for us to understand where our default set point is when it comes to this work. And dating is one of the fastest places to see whether your Delulu has any lived backing. And money works actually the exact same way. So step one would be when the old loop or the old prediction gets activated. So in dating, when you're seeing someone after the second date, when they start pulling away, if your prediction or your knee-jerk response is to chase them so you'll feel safe, that is your brain's prediction. And whenever you do this, you're abandoning yourself. And your brain predicts that. And your brain also predicts your lack of self-trust. And in money, if you're someone who wants to make more money, if you want to make 7 figures or $500,000, but when it comes to invoicing your client, you feel anxious and you're questioning whether your service is worth it, or if I charge this, it might activate some negative experience for my client, if you have all these stories going on because you don't feel safe receiving that amount that you actually worked really hard on to receive, and this reaction often isn't conscious, they're learned survival patterns. So what you want to do when this happens, when you notice a pattern that is almost automatic, you want to contradict the experience. And this is the part a lot of people skip because our reactions and emotional reactions are memorized, and they're so automatic that we don't pause and observe and step out of it to see what we can do to change it. So you want to learn all the ways to regulate yourself, and there are so many tools online, YouTube videos. There are so many tools that you can use. So you can use box breathing, there's EFT tapping. There are so many ways to allow yourself to sit in that discomfort, and you don't text them, you don't double text them. Every single time you do this, you're training your mind a different reality, a different belief about yourself. And going back to the money example, when you're about to send an invoice to someone or when you're about to ask for a raise, notice that anxious feeling in your body. Sit with it, sit with the discomfort, and ground yourself. Remind yourself that you're safe now. You're safe now. And staying present in your body instead of not sending the invoice or not asking for the raise, because often our fear is how we feel after asking for a raise. Maybe we get rejected, whatever. But every time you sit in that discomfort, you're training your mind and body to know that you survive through these uncomfortable emotions. And in both cases, when you do this, you're not just imagining being confident. You lived a different response while the anxiety is still active. And that is the mismatch. That's when your mind and body start to learn that you can hold that space. You have the capacity to hold that space for yourself. And step 3 is repetition, because repetition updates the model. It's okay if fear still comes in. It's okay if anxiety still comes in. It's okay if you accidentally texted him again once or twice. It's okay. Forgive yourself and come back to the now. Come back into your body. Feel safe again. Every time you practice this, you're training your mind and body a completely different reality, a completely different response to the original trigger that you're working through. And this is not just affirmations. This is the brain reconsolidating the memory. And practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes updated predictions. It makes progress there. And this is why visualization alone doesn't always work. You also have to increase your capacity for that change, for that person that you would like to embody to actually live in your body, because it feels safe to know that you're worthy. It feels safe to invoice that client. When your vision is too far from your lived experience, your system doesn't integrate it. It resists it. Not because you're broken or you're behind. It's because there's no bridge. And by following these 3 steps, you're connecting the dots. You're bridging your lived experience and that visualization. And it takes both to get your Delulu. And this is the Solulu. Strategic Delulu is when your vision stretches you and your actions create real world evidence for your system to update, that your system can trust to actually bring you there. So yes, be Delulu. Dream big. Expand your imagination. I am all here for it. And you have to pair the vision with lived contradiction. Pair that dream with regulated action, and that fantasy with real experiences that tell your brain, I can survive this. I can thrive in this. This is possible. And that when that becomes familiar, that's the muscle you start exercising. That is the Solulu. It's not just visualization. It's not just the vision. It's not just the goal, but it's how your identity shifts and how money expands, how you increase your capacity to hold that discomfort and to hold that vision you have for your life. And your life gets to be drastically different.